we did a side plane under the leg stall combination, opposite direction, which was this one, just this guy. I want to give you a more advanced entry into that one also today. So if we're here like this in the underhand butterfly, what you could do is turn to your left. As you turn to your left, you're going to step your left leg back and turn and stall immediately, all as one movement. Yes. And then you could come back out, step to the front, and you're in overhand butterfly. And now if you wanted to turn to the right from overhand, this one I think is a little bit harder. I don't know why, but that's just my subjective experience. You would step your right leg back and then do the same thing. And then you could come back to underhand here. You could also, from underhand, step to the right, where you step the right leg back, like that. And then from overhand, you can turn to the left and come underhand, where your right's gonna come from the front, the left is gonna come from the back as you step and turn, right? So I'm doing both versions, overhand and underhand, stepping and turning. I think this is the easier way to do it, is if I'm going to the right, I step the right leg back and rotate into it. If I'm going to the left, I step the left leg back and rotate into it. And then it's really, like, what you could do to make it even easier than what we just did was always do a pair of stalls, right? So if you do it like this, where you start from underhand, because I think it's easier to get, I subjectively think it's easier to get in from underhand. So if I go to the left and I step back, 5, 6, 7, step back, stall, and then stall again. When you come to the front, you're back in underhand. And then we can go to the right, 5, 6, 7, 8, step back with the right, and then stall, and then come back to underhand in the front. 5, 6, 7, 8, step back with the left, stall, come back to underhand, 5, 6, 7, 8, step back with the right, stall, back to underhand. What you just did was more like this. When you were here, you stepped your left leg back, but you stepped sort of at a diagonal, and then you were like this, and then it was like your left hand didn't remember it was on the side plane. So if you turn your body more like this, it'll be more clear that it has to go back behind the leg after the first stall, right? So after this, it comes up over the top, back behind. If we just did the left hand from underhand here, you step the left leg back, stall under in front, and then over the top and back behind. Yes, you did this. You went under from the front, and then you did a stall like this on the back plane. What I'm doing is I'm stalling from the front, then over the top, and this is literally the same thing we did last week. Yes, so go through the leg from the back, through the leg from the back, through the leg from the back. Okay, so now if we do it with both hands, we're here like this. We're gonna step the left leg back, 5, 6, turn all the way, 7, 8, step, double stall, and then over the top, double stall, and then step back into underhand. And then let's do it again, 5, 6, 7, 8, left leg back, double stall, left in the front, double stall, left in the back, and then turn back to underhand, 5, 6, 7, 8, left leg back, double stall, and then double stall, and come back to the front. Now let's do it on the right side. Let's just do the right hand for this one. So we're gonna turn to the right, make sure you turn the full way. The right hand will stall from the front, and then it'll come from the back. And then you come back to underhand butterfly. So 5, 6, 7, 8, right leg back. Stall from the front, come over the top, stall from the back, and then turn back to underhand butterfly. Now let's try it with both hands. 5, 6, 7, 8, turn fully, under from the front with the right, under from the back from the right, and then back to the front, 5, 6, 7, 8, turn and stall, and double stall again, come back to underhand butterfly, 5, 6, 7, 8, turn and double stall, and back to the front, 5, 6, 7, 8, turn and double stall, and back to the front. And last time to the right, 5, 6, 7, 8, turn and double stall, and double stall. Okay, so that was just a new entry into a pattern that is an old pattern. I mean, you've known it a week, so that's, you know. Okay, and then the thing to remember is whichever direction you're turning, that hand comes from the front the first time when you're coming from underhand. So the one that I wanted to do tonight, which is similar but different, it's still an opposite direction stall pattern. I'm gonna face sideways. I would execute this multiple different ways. I would execute it sideways and I would execute it front facing, but I wanna show it to you sideways so that you can see the spacing with the legs. So all you do is the same thing we did, only with your legs like this. Stall, stall. Now, what's different about this one is the first stall, you're going under, right? But I'm staggering. One is closer to the knee that's in front. One is closer to the knee that's in back, right? So I'm using the same hand with the same leg. So if my left leg is in front, I'm starting with my left hand closer to the front, my right hand closer to the back. Now, what's complicated is the part after this, because what happens is you come into what I call the trap, where both poi come over the top and one of the hands traps the other hand, right? So my arms are now like this. One arm is on top of the other. Now I'm putting my dominant hand on top because it has the deeper stall that it has to do and I have more control with my dominant hand. And when I say the deeper stall, what I mean is instead of just going around the leg to stall, you have to go around the leg and the arm to stall. So it has to have more depth in the motion to get all the way under the leg. I would recommend when you do your trap, at least to start out with, as a right-handed person, I would recommend the left hand is on bottom and the right hand is on top. And then what you're trying to do, so if I show you from the side view, we just did this where they came under for the underhand one, which is the easy one. And then I think it's easier if you lean into it a little bit, and then you're gonna trap and come out. Trap and come out. Now, when you're doing the trap, you still need to stagger your poi so that they don't tangle under your leg like that. Although, if they do, you could do a very cool performance trick with it. So if you accidentally, or even if you on purpose, take the two poi as they're tangled and slide them up your leg towards your crotch, which just looks like a cool fire trick because it's fire crotch. I mean, I'm not saying go for it, but if it happens, it's a good thing that you could do. And then what you can also do if you're having trouble getting it untangled is, let me get a good tangle here. Okay, so mine are tangled now. So if I'm down here like this, I can do this where I'm like, where I ride the poi like that. It's a very, I have used it many times in performance. And then you can step gracefully out of it like that to untangle. And that could be, I mean, it could become a performance trick, right? They'll never know what you intended, only what you gave them. And if you own it as a performer, it works. I mean, it's risky, but the risk also can make it fun too. If you're looking for a more slick way into it, but one of the reasons I showed you at the beginning of the session here, the thing where I had you turn and stall, was because I feel like when we did it last week in the follow the flow, what we did was we turned and then we stalled, and we did it as a two-step pattern. Taking out the extra spaces can make it slicker. So in this case, instead of turning, you could do it on this plane in front of you by stepping, right? So you're just here in your underhand butterfly, 5, 6, 7, 8, step your leg forward and stall, and then you can exit. And then if you want to do something without the trap that's a little easier, you could keep it in overhand, lift up your leg, and double tap to reverse. And then you're back in underhand, right? So stall, bring it up, and tap. And you could lift the leg for both if you wanted. All these different combinations. And then when you're going underneath from either overhand or underhand, the closer your hand is to the leg, the more likely the poi is to wrap around the leg. So you want to leave your hands far enough from the leg that the ball is going under, but you're not getting that much of the string wrapping around you. You want to give it just enough leash, not too much, or the balls might, go wild. What you could do is, I call this it's like a tap march. So if I did it from the front and I started from underhand, and all I'm doing is, that's a tap back. I'm not even doing an actual stall. So if I'm underhand like this, I come under, tap and reverse. Yeah, just the tip, just for a second, just to make it change direction. And then lift the other leg, just the tip, just for a second, make it change direction. Yep, and then repeat, repeat. And remember to point your toes. So they're all variations on the same sort of theme. It's all opposite direction. It's all under the leg, and you can use stalls or taps for all of them. And I think they all perform from both angles, side view or front view. I think that this may not show that it's going under the leg as much as doing it from the side. But I'm not sure if you're using fire, it's going to matter much, because it just looks like your leg's on fire briefly in both cases. So I don't know which one performs better, if you will. I think that might be subjective, and I think it might be contextual based on what it is you're trying to accomplish in the particular instance. These are really simple, good filler things you can do. Well, because you know how the butterfly works so well with the beat, right? So if you could do something like 1, 2, 3 and tap, and 1, 2, 3 and tap, and 1, 2, 3 and tap, right? And 1, 2, 1. Right, you could do 1 and tap, and 1 and tap, and 1 tap, right? So it's all kinds of, it works well, it does work well, and it's not that complicated because at the same time. And I gotta say, people, especially who are ignorant, they have no idea, right? They don't know when you're hitting yourself that it's not really dangerous. So you're really leveraging the part of the performance that works with fire well by taking advantage of their ignorance. I will say you want to make sure you don't do this too early in the piece, because you might get a transfer. So no transfers. You want to wait until you're sure all the excess fuel is off your poi.